So, the New York Times used to be, once upon a time, an extremely prestigious newspaper and publication. They are now basically a hate rag akin to Stormfront. That sounds like exaggeration, but you're going to find out I'm not kidding. They hired a racist well beyond what you would possibly expect a publication like that to even consider hiring, let alone apparently knowing that she was this much of a racist, received a gigantic, overwhelming backlash for hiring this racist and said, no, we're going to keep her. Like, I'm not kidding. And when I say racist, I don't mean like Roseanne Barr calls a black woman who's, I think, 1/8 black and is 100% white passing, who literally looks like that good guy ape character from Planet of the Apes, called her, she looks like that character from the Planet of the Apes, which she absolutely objectively does. And they're like, oh, you can't call a black person an ape, you lose your job. The thing is, she did none of the above, and that was basically a lie, because, say it with me now, all progressives do is lie, but you're going to find out as we read through this little Twitter post here, you're going to find out that Sarah Jeong is the kind of racist that makes characters from American History X blush. Like, she is old school, full-blown, full throttle, no hyperbole, a sick fucking racist. You're going to really enjoy this. But first, let's hear from the New York Times why they're not going to fire her. We hired Sarah Jeong because of the exceptional work she has done covering the internet and technology at a range of respected publications. Her journalism and the fact that she is a young Asian woman have made her the subject of frequent online harassment. For a period of time, she responded to that harassment by imitating the rhetoric of her harassers. She now sees that this approach only served to feed the vitriol that we all too often see on social media. She regrets it, and the Times does not condone it. We had candid conversations with Sarah as part of our thorough vetting process, which included a review of her social media history, so they knew that she was a unbelievably direct racist before hiring her. And they're not gonna fire her after everybody knew. They admitted it. This is unfucking believable. But I'm not done with their statement. We had candid conversations with Sarah as part of our thorough vetting process, which included a review of her social media history. She understands that this type of rhetoric is not acceptable at the Times. That's a lie. It's acceptable because you fucking hired her. And we are confident that she will be an important voice for the editorial board moving forward. All right, so of course a bunch of people were willing to post exactly what she did say, dozens of her tweets. Now we're going to find out what's acceptable at the New York Times. These are all direct quotes from Sarah Jeong, editor at the New York Times. Dumbass fucking white people marking up the internet with their opinions like dogs pissing on fire hydrants. Oh man, it's kind of sick how much joy I get out of being cruel to old white men. Are white people genetically predisposed to burn faster in the sun, thus logically only being fit to live underground like groveling cave goblins? Hashtag cancel white people. Holy shit, I don't think I can even zoom in on that shit. That's a long-ass fucking listing of shit she said. I dare you to get on Wikipedia and play things white people can definitely take credit for. It's really hard. Number 1, white men are bullshit. Number 2, no one cares about women. Number 3, you can threaten anyone on the internet except cops. I just realized why I can't stand watching Breaking Bad or Battlestar Galactica. The premise of both is just white people being miserable. Huh, Sarah Jeong, I think you would have loved those shows then, since you clearly fucking hate white people. I'm trying to see if I can get zoomed in on this shit. Have you ever tried to figure out all the things that white people are allowed to do that aren't cultural appropriation? There's literally nothing, like maybe golf. I can't really read that text. It's far too small. It's ridiculous how tiny this image is. Let me zoom in on it because I actually really want to read this thread if it's at all possible. There we go. White people aren't even allowed to have polo. Did you know that? Like, don't you just feel bad? Why we can't give white people a break? Lacrosse isn't even for white people either. It must be so boring being white. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more posts than that, but basically, you can tell that this woman is a sick fuck. And of course, and like I said, none of that is even like, what do you call it, benign racism or simple prejudice or racism that's not based on hatred but paranoia. You know, there's sort of levels to racism. Of course, no racism is okay, but there's a difference between white people smell like dogs in the rain, and then she draws a graph that says the more white you are, the more you smell like a dog if you're wet. And then there's another graph she draws, it's the same graph, that is the more white you are, the more evil you are. So dozens of tweets like this and what's amazing is there's a lot of people, of course, defending the New York Times, which is not surprising. If this is my first video of mine, welcome to a channel that's all about how much the left literally hates white people, American history, in the same way American History X characters hate black people and Jews. They literally hate you. They would kill you if they could kill you. They want you to die. They want you to not exist, and they think that everything you do is evil. They basically, the progressive left, does not literally, and I do mean literally, and I have to say that because everybody thinks everything's hyperbole, another thing you can blame on the left, but they literally do not think white people are human beings. And I should actually preface that by saying a lot of them don't think white people should be treated like human beings. And then there's a significant portion of progressives who, this may shock you, literally think black people and white people are two different species, and black people are the only ones that are human. I'm not kidding. I have videos about this. So anyway, look, I can understand if this was BuzzFeed. I could understand if this was Vox. I could understand if this was Vice. I could understand if this was Salon. I could understand even if it was the Huffington Post or some other progressive radical leftist smear rag. Might as well be both. Not fit to wipe your ass with, though, honestly, publications. This is the New York Times that pretends at being an objective, high-quality news source, not a propaganda piece or an openly biased news blog masquerading as journalism. This is literally, of course my computer wants to start making loud noises, so let's move you. This is literally a company that pretends to be real news instead of fake news. And they hired to their editorial board a blown the fuck out racist. Welcome to 2018, people.